Welcome, dear friend, to this sacred hour. We are entering together what HerbFitch called the wilderness, not a barren place of punishment, but a holy passage, a stripping away, a return. In 1983, in Orlando, Florida, HerbFitch gathered a small company of dedicated souls for what would become one of the most extraordinary spiritual intensives of the 20th century, the Divine Life Seminar. Over 8 tapes, he laid out 40 days of practice, 40 principles to walk with one at a time, until Christ consciousness became not just an idea, but a living experience. We have walked through 3 foundational truths. The world is a dream. I am not the personal me. All that is present is the essence of God. And now, in the light of those truths, Day 4 brings perhaps the most personally powerful declaration of the entire 40-day journey. A statement that the human mind will resist, the ego will find presumptuous, and the awakening soul will recognize as the deepest truth it has ever heard. Not a fraction of the sun, not a struggling human becoming the sun, not the sun in some future spiritual graduation, the infinite sun, now, here, always. I am the infinite Son of God, not Jesus only, not a few saints in history. You, yes, you, sitting where you sit right now. You are the infinite Son of God. Let us discover why this is the truest thing ever spoken about you. Let us begin by settling into stillness. Let whatever brought you here today, the worries, the plans, the noise of the ordinary, let it all become background. We are about to stand in a great truth together. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. With each exhale, release the human story. With each inhale, let the word infinite arise in your awareness. Infinite, infinite, I am. The foundation, Joel's principle. HerbFitch opened Day 4 by invoking a foundational principle from his teacher, Joel's Goldsmith. From the very first tape of the Divine Life Seminar, Herb placed this principle at the center of the 40-day walk. I is the name of God, and I is the name of the infinite Son of God. This is not a metaphor. This is not poetry. Herb meant it literally and absolutely. When you say the word I, not the small, personal, biographical I that worries and plans and gets tired, but the I that was before Abraham, the I that Christ spoke from when he said, before Abraham was, I am, that I is the name of God, and that same I is the name of the infinite Son. Joel Goldsmith taught this with equal directness in the mystical I, where he wrote, I in the midst of you am God, I in the midst of the animal world, the vegetable world, the mineral world, am God. And further, in the foundation of mysticism, Joel made this stunning declaration about divine identity. God consciousness is your individual consciousness, and all that God is I am. All that God has is mine. Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. Do you feel the weight of that? All that God is not was, not will be, is. Right now, the nature of your I, Herb took this seed from Joel and planted it deeper still in Day 4 of the wilderness walk. what it means to be the infinite Son. Let us pause on the word infinite, because this word is doing everything in day 4's practice. When Herb says you are the infinite Son, he means your selfhood has no boundary. It does not stop at your skin. It does not stop at your fence line. It does not stop at the edges of time or space. He taught. I am the infinite Son in a meditation now because it should remove from you the belief of division between you and your neighbor. You may not particularly care for your neighbor, but to be the infinite Son, you must be the reality of your neighbor. The fence you build between your neighbor and yourself is really a denial of your identity. This is radical. Your neighbor, the difficult one, the irritating one, the one you have nothing in common with, your infinite selfhood is the reality of that neighbor. The Christ of you is the Christ of them. There is only one Son, and you are that Son. And Herb continued, in language that should stop us completely. The infinite Son is the only Son, the only inhabitant of God's kingdom. I am that only inhabitant. That one I am. That's your 4th day consciousness. The only inhabitant of God's kingdom, not one of many, the only one, because God is one, the Son is one, and that one is the I that you are, not as a person, but as a universal, indivisible Christ identity expressing through this apparent form. The world mind in the test of day 4. Now, and Herb was always unflinchingly honest about this, accepting this truth is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of a test. The moment you step into the wilderness of day 4, carrying the principle, I am the infinite Son of God, the world mind will push back. Joel named this force clearly. He called it the mesmerism of the world, the belief in 2 powers, the hypnosis that makes us live as small, separate, mortal creatures rather than as the infinite Son we already are, Joel wrote. In other words, this belief in 2 powers. Without that, there is only one infinite consciousness, manifesting itself as individual consciousness. The serpent in Eden, the world mind, the carnal mind, the hypnotist will present circumstances designed to prove you are not the infinite Son. A bill arrives, a diagnosis comes, a relationship strains, a door closes, and the world mind whispers, you see, you are mortal, you are limited, you are not what you thought. And day 4 says, do not accept that whisper. Stand firm in identity. Herb's instruction for the wilderness days was precise. You face the world with the principle of the day, and you carry the awareness of what stands behind the dream. You do not fight the appearance. You do not argue with it. You simply remain rooted in the truth. I am the infinite Son of God, and the infinite Son of God cannot be touched, diminished, divided, or destroyed. Segment 2. Teaching your divine sonship. The human religious tradition has made the fatal error of projecting divine sonship exclusively onto one historical figure, keeping the rest of humanity in a posture of permanent spiritual inferiority. You are a sinner, a fallen creature, separated from God, and Jesus alone bridges the gap. The mystical tradition, the deeper Christian tradition that HerbFitch and Goldsmith carried, declares something radically different. Yes, Jesus was the Son of God, but Jesus himself said, I am in my Father, and thee in me, and I in you. John 14:20. Thee in me, I in you. Jesus was not establishing an exclusive club of one. He was revealing the mystical truth that the Christ identity, the Son of God, is what every being in God's creation is. When Jesus said, I am the Son of God, he was not making a personal claim. He was revealing the nature of all spiritual being. The Christ is not a title that belongs to one man. It is the true identity of every soul that God has brought forth. Jesus lived it completely. We are learning to live it, but the identity itself is not different. Goldsmith often distinguished between Jesus and Christ. Jesus was the individual human expression. Christ is a universal spiritual identity, the Son of God, that Jesus embodied completely, and that we embody in our journey of awakening. Christ is your true identity. Christ is not something you achieve, not something given to you as a reward for good behavior. Christ is what you are, what you have always been, what you will always be. The journey of the spiritual student is not to become Christ, but to recognize and live as the Christ that has always been the only true self. Story 1. The student who stopped at the fence. A woman who had been studying the infinite way for several years came to HerbFitch with a recurring spiritual problem. She could meditate beautifully in the morning. She could feel the presence. She could hold the principle, I am the infinite Son of God, with real conviction until the moment she walked out the door and encountered her neighbor. Her neighbor was a man of considerable anger, loud, intrusive, dismissive. Every interaction left her feeling spiritually deflated, as though the realization she had cultivated in meditation simply dissolved in his presence. She asked Herb, how can I maintain Christ consciousness when the world presents me with someone so unlike the Christ? Herb's response cut to the heart of day 4. He reminded her that the fence between her and her neighbor was a fence she was building in her own consciousness. And that fence, her judgment, her separation, her belief that the difficult neighbor was different in essence from herself, was a denial of her own infinite identity. If she was truly the infinite Son of God, her selfhood could not stop at the property line. If she was truly the infinite Son of God, her selfhood could not stop at the property line. Her Christ nature was also the invisible Christ nature of that man. However deeply he appeared to have forgotten it, she went home and practiced this, not by becoming friendly with the man, not by performing spiritual harmony, but by inwardly refusing to see him as a person separate from her infinite selfhood. Within 2 weeks, the neighbor moved away unexpectedly. And she told Herb, "I didn't even notice his absence at first, because I had already stopped seeing him as separate." This is the wilderness of day 4, not fighting the world, but expanding your identity to include it. Story 2. The Man Who Claimed His Sonship. A man named Marcus had spent his life believing he was fundamentally broken, spiritually, emotionally, practically. He had grown up in a religious tradition that emphasized human sinfulness and divine judgment. He had internalized the message, "I am not worthy. I am less than. God is far." He stumbled upon these teachings during a period of deep depression, and the teaching that broke through was this one: "I am the infinite Son of God." He said, "When I first heard it, something in me screamed, 'That is arrogant. How dare you say that?' But his teacher replied, 'Arrogance would be claiming greatness for your human personality. This is not claiming anything for the personal self. This is recognizing the greatness of God, great enough to have created only infinite sons and daughters." Marcus began working with this daily. He would wake each morning, and before the day's worries could flood in, he would whisper, "I am the infinite Son of God." This is not Marcus speaking. This is the Christ in me, recognizing what I truly am. Over months, the depression, which had no organic cause, began to lift, not because his circumstances changed immediately, but because the root belief that had generated the depression, "I am broken, I am less, I am separate from God," was being replaced slowly by spiritual recognition. And from that inner shift, outer transformation gradually followed. Story 3. The Demonstration of Wholeness in Crisis. Joel Goldsmith frequently shared accounts of spiritual healing that arose not from prayer as petition, but from recognition of identity. One student came to him in great physical distress, a condition the medical establishment had labeled chronic and degenerative. The prognosis was grim. Joel did not treat the condition. He did not visualize health replacing disease. Instead, he silently turned to the inner awareness of the I, the infinite, indivisible, complete I, that stood as this person's true identity. Joel rested in what he described as the recognition of the patient's spiritual priesthood, their sonship with the Father. The goal of the infinite way is to become the Son of God, not merely a healthy human being, a good human being, or a wealthy human being, but rather to show in our daily experience our spiritual nature, that which actually was given to us in the beginning. Within days of that recognition, the student's condition began to reverse in ways the doctors called medically unexplainable. But Joel would say it was entirely explainable. The infinite Son of God is not subject to disease. The appearance of disease belonged to the human dream. The reality, the I am of that individual, was whole. This is precisely what Herb was pointing toward in day 4. Not healing as fixing, but healing as revealing. Revealing what was always already true. I am the infinite Son of God, and the infinite Son of God is already complete. Segment 3. Deeper Teaching, Infinite Sonship, and Divine Inheritance. Notice the word infinite in today's theme. Not a Son of God, the infinite Son of God. This is important. HerbFitch was not speaking of a limited, finite, one among many sonship. He was pointing to the truth that your identity in God has no boundary, no limit, no ceiling. The Apostle Paul wrote, "And if children, then heirs, heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ." Romans 8:17, joint heirs. Equal inheritance, not a trickle of blessing from a distant God, but the full inheritance of the kingdom of God belonging to you as your birthright. A son of God is an heir of God, and as an heir, you have access to everything in the Father's house, not just survival, not just a little health and a little provision, everything. Infinite life, infinite love, infinite supply, infinite wisdom, infinite peace. This is your inheritance. The only question is whether you have claimed it, whether you are living from it. This is the mystical meaning of the parable of the Prodigal Son, Luke 15:11-32, one of Jesus' greatest teachings on this exact theme. The son took his inheritance and went to waste it in a far country, the far country being the world of the dream, the world of appearances, the world of the human ego identity. In that far country, he experienced lack, hunger, degradation. But when he came to himself, that phrase is so important, he returned to his father. And what did the father do? He ran to meet him. He gave him the finest robe, the ring of authority, the feast, because the inheritance had never been taken away. The son's absence from the father's house was a consciousness event, not a reality event. And the moment he turned back, everything was restored. You are the prodigal. You have been living in a far country, the far country of the human ego identity of the material dream world. But right now, in this moment, you can come to yourself. You can turn back, and the Father is already running to meet you, because in truth you never left. Segment 4, Guided Meditation. Let us enter now into the meditation. This one calls you to rise to meet the truth about yourself, not with the ego, with the soul. Come to stillness. Sit upright if you can, the posture of someone who knows who they are. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Begin to sense the silence that surrounds all sound, the spaciousness that holds the body, the awareness that knows all thoughts, what is not a thought. Now, from that silent, spacious, aware place, let these words rise in you, not as a claim of the ego, but as a recognition of the Spirit. I am the infinite Son of God. Say it again, more quietly, more deeply. Let it be less a statement and more a recognition. I am the infinite Son of God. Now feel into what infinite means. No edges, no limits, no ceiling, no floor, no boundary. The life in you is the life of God, and God has no edges. The life in me has no limit. The love in me has no ceiling. The wisdom in me is the wisdom of God. The supply available to me is the infinite supply of the kingdom. Now bring to mind any area of your life where you have felt less than, unworthy, limited, insufficient. Don't judge it. Just acknowledge it. And now speak to it from the Christ identity. This sense of limitation does not belong to me. It belongs to the dream. I am the infinite Son of God. In my Father's house, there is no lack. Rest in the fullness of who you truly are. Nothing to prove, nothing to earn, nothing to become, just recognition. I am home. I am in my Father. My Father is in me. I am the infinite Son of God. Segment 5. Integration and daily practice. Today's practice. Each time you face a situation in which you feel insufficient, unworthy, unable, or limited, stop, take one breath, and inwardly declare from the deepest place you can access, I am the infinite Son of God. Infinite wisdom is available to me now. Infinite supply flows to me now. Infinite life governs this situation now. You are not claiming this for your personality. You are recognizing your spiritual inheritance. And that recognition, practiced consistently, begins to shift the dream toward the truth of what God knows about you. Again, inwardly declare, I am. Here, there, everywhere. I am not contained in flesh. I am not limited by time. I am the infinite Son of God, one with the Father, one with all that God is, one indivisible, complete. Now, bring to mind your most challenging relationship. Do not analyze them. Do not rehearse the difficulty. Simply let the awareness arise. The infinite I that I am is the invisible reality of this person too. There is only one Son. There is only one infinite I. The fence dissolves. The separation dissolves. Only the one remains. Stay in this awareness as long as feels right. Do not reach for thoughts. Do not analyze. Simply rest in the infinite I that you have always been. When you are ready, let the awareness gently return to the room, but carry this with you, not as a memory of a meditation, but as the truth of what you are. The infinite Son of God does not end when the meditation ends. Subscribe. 36 more days of awakening truth await you. Like and share. Someone in your world needs to hear they are the infinite Son of God today. Comment, what shifted in you during today's meditation? This is a sacred community. Notification bell. Turn it on. New video drops each day. Show love and support this ministry. The intelligence that knows all things is already present within you. This teaching is an invitation to trust it more fully. If you feel led to support the Living Christ awakening work, and you feel the pull of this teaching, that pull itself is the presence calling. In the description below, you will find a Show Love link. An appeal for quiet participation in this unfolding of consciousness across the world. Closing words. We close with Herb's own summary of Day 4. The infinite Son is the only Son, the only inhabitant of God's kingdom. I am that only inhabitant, that one I am. That's your 4th day consciousness. And from Joel, this affirmation of the journey. There is a transcendental consciousness available to man here and now, which, when attained, results in the dying daily of the old man and the rebirth of the new man, the Son of God. Carry, I am the infinite Son of God into your day, into your week, into the wilderness of ordinary life. Resist nothing, fight nothing. Simply remember and return to what you have always been. Tomorrow, Day 5, there is only one infinite consciousness.
If this meditation blessed you, share it with someone who needs peace today. Don't forget to subscribe for more teachings by Brother George. Inspired by Joel Goldsmith Infinite Way Teachings.